the three big things, guys, that I want to go over with you, because I feel like it helps me choosing the right caliber in this paralysis by analysis gun world, caliber world that we have going right now. When you go on any forum and you look at, give anybody's opinion, you get 100 really good opinions. I'm going to say that just so you know. Not everybody's a whack job, but everybody has their own opinion on rifle caliber and what's the best. And you know, I've killed something with my 308 for 150 years, so that's the only thing you ever need. There's total validity in that, guys. Is there a better option for a lot of other things? Absolutely. So we're just going to go over some things. The first thing I start with is, what is the rifle's goal? When I'm building a rifle, what is the goal that I have set out for this gun specifically? If you're going to be going to Africa or hunting all over the world, or just maybe using it as a sheep gun, these are things that you'll have to understand, and the limitations and also the options that you have. So when you're hunting in North America, you can be hunting mid-sized game in literally every environment, small game in every environment, big game, dangerous game in every environment. So understanding that if you're going to set out to choose a deer hunting rifle that you want to use at longer ranges, shorter ranges, they go all over the place. There's so many different options. A rifle that you're going to use just out of your tree stand, well, that's going to look a lot different than somebody who's hunting mule deer in Wyoming with a rifle that they're going to need to be shooting 700 plus yards across canyons, versus you shooting something out of your tree stand at oftentimes 100 yards or less. So that caliber choice, that rifle choice, the choice of the stock, the barrel, again, the caliber, the weight, all those things are vastly different. They don't have to be. You can use the same gun in a tree stand that you use in Wyoming, but the goals behind the rifle, you can really custom make rifles now, guys, where you can have it fit your needs and cross over into so many other needs as well, where you can do multiple things with it. So you need to understand the options. If you want to go lightweight barrel, lightweight stock, you know, lightweight rail, lightweight action, or do you want to just kind of stick it streamlined? Obviously budget comes into play here too, guys. So the budget is the kind of parentheses around anything that you're buying, is what is your budget set out for. So in a custom rifle, if you're going to go build a rifle, typically I'd have a budget around $5,000 said and done. If you're going to go out and get a factory rifle, that for the same thing, choosing a factory rifle that's right for you, I'd have a budget in that $2,500 range, where you can have, like, said and done, scoped and everything, where you can get things done very effectively. So that being said, guys, choosing the animal that you are going to potentially hunt with, and that could be crossover, all kinds of animals. You've got small varmint game, coyotes, javelina, hogs, and then you've got deer, antelope, sheep, and then you have bigger game, moose, elk, black bear, brown bear, and up. All those things, they can require different guns, or they don't have to necessarily require a different gun. So it's choosing, are you having a rifle set out for certain hunts because you already have your deer stand rifle, or you already have your varmint rifle, or you already have your big Africa 375 H&H rifle? Do you want a rifle that's a long-range deer hunting rifle? Do you want a rifle that does it all? So it's starting out, what is the rifle designed for, and what are its purposes? The second thing, guys, is the distance, and I already touched on a little bit with the tree stand and the Wyoming illustration, but understanding distance will oftentimes, and what your needs are, is how far you're going to shoot, will often determine what caliber is the best for you. The main calibers we're talking about, guys, are mainly 4 calibers. And so of those calibers, you have 6.5, you have 7mm, and you have 30 caliber, and then you have 338. And again, 338 is kind of a side note. It's not as popular. It's the same thing as like a 257 or 250 caliber. Not as popular. So we're going to stick kind of in that main, the main 3. You go from 7mm, which is 284. You can get a 7mm Odd 8, which is very recoil friendly, which is a neck down 308 that is really good at short range. So that's a distance factor. If I'm only going to be shooting short range and I want something that doesn't need a long giant barrel or a big muzzle brake, it doesn't need a ton of powder, I can reload for it very easily, good with kids, and also is very, very effective at putting down animals at short range, a 7mm .08 would be a great choice. If I want a 7mm that's going to reach out and touch something, actually being effective at long ranges on big game, then a 28 Nosler would be where I would be heading in that direction. So 28 Nosler and a 7mm .08 are the same exact calibers. They're still 284s. Distance and determining what you want this rifle to perform, how you want this rifle to perform, whether it be short distance and long distance, is a huge factor in choosing a rifle. And the problem I see, guys, is everybody wants to fight about putting a round peg in a square hole. They want to try to make their 7mm .08 and prove it to everybody on the long range shooting forums that they can shoot things at 800 yards. Stick to what the rifle was designed for. That's kind of my approach to things in everything. Now, yes, a 7mm .08 can shoot long distance if you have the right load, if you have the right bullet, if you have the right conditions, great. But what's the best rifle in I'm just using 7mm .284 as an example right here, guys. It can be used for a 30 caliber, 6.5 caliber. It's the same thing. What is the best rifle used in that condition? Now, 7mm .08 is a great rifle to be used at short distances. Is it the best choice if I want to shoot a mule deer at 500 yards across a canyon and the wind's blowing 15 miles an hour? No, it's not. It's just not the best choice. Can you do it? Yeah. Are you going to be found in that position more often than not? If you are, you probably don't want a 7mm .08. You probably want a 28 Nosler or something that gets that bullet going faster, less time in gravity, less time in the atmosphere, and higher BC and a heavier bullet. That's 28 Nosler. That's not going to drift in 15-mile-an-hour winds like a slow-moving 7mm .08 bullet will. Okay, so that's the whole thing, guys. What are the conditions that you want it to perform in, and what are the distances that you want it to perform in? What are you going to most likely find yourself hunting? And that's how you determine a rifle. Obviously, the conditions and distance often are very similar. So if you're in the mountains, well, your distances may potentially be longer. So the first thing is animal. Understanding animal plus distance is the first two big factors in choosing a rifle. The third thing is, guys, is the conditions in which you're hunting in. Atmospheric conditions. Am I going to be hunting in higher elevations? And am I going to be hunting in high weather situations? Conditions are kind of a determining factor too as far as the weight of the rifle. So you don't necessarily have to use the lightest components if you're going to be sticking pretty close to a truck, or you're not going to go that far away and the conditions are relatively flat. So if you're hunting high elevations, guys, if your conditions take you into crazy mountains where you're going to be packing your rifle everywhere, then you're going to need to focus on the weight of the rifle. You're going to need to find a way to trim off every ounce effectively and maintain an accurate rifle platform. So if you're going to be shooting, off your deer stand and you want something, or you don't necessarily, you can be shooting long range off your deer stand in Texas or your box blind or whatever. So weight isn't necessarily an issue, but accuracy is. So there's certain things that the conditions will determine your final outcome of barrel choice, barrel length. Every inch you add will add accuracy, but it will also add weight. And that's not 100% of the time, guys, but that's an example. When you go up in caliber, 30 caliber, 300 Ultra, when you got to burn these giant powder cartridges like a 28 Nosler, your barrel has to be a little longer. Well, that will add weight, and that will also add length to getting around, moving. Are you going to be hunting in thick brush? Do you want your gun to be a little bit shorter because you mainly are just going to be hunting hogs in Texas? There's all these factors, guys, so that's what I would look at first. I would just lay it out and say, what is my animal that I'm going to be hunting primarily, that I want to use this rifle for? What is the distance that I need my rifle to perform 90% of the time? And what are the conditions that my rifle needs to perform under? And then you can go into the whole caliber, bullet weight, and all the choices that we have, guys. We have a ton of choices out right now, guys, and it's awesome because you can really form exactly what you need, and not one size fits all, guys. So it's a great time to build a rifle. It's a great time to buy a factory rifle and customize it for your needs. And I hope this helps. Is how I determine I'm building a rifle, which I do once or twice a year, and it's really streamlines my process, and I don't get too caught up in the paralysis by analysis by every choice that is out there. And also, guys, don't be afraid to ask a friend. Don't be afraid to ask a buddy, myself. I always ask somebody too. It's a good thing to bounce ideas off of a gunsmith, or somebody that's got more experience than you, or somebody that's kind of experimenting with some different stuff. Ask them. And it's a really good option right now to choose a rifle. So again, I hope this helps, guys, and look forward to hearing about your rifle builds. Good luck this season. We'll talk soon.